Okay, today we are playing a game on Ilios. We are playing 3 rounds as Pharah and 2 rounds as Tracer, and we are in the Gold SR range. So, let's look at our team. We've got Pharah, Roadhog, Anna, Mercy, Genji, Winston. Really average King of the Hill team. It's like almost a dive comp. If we could get a Zenyatta and a Zarya, it would be, but yeah, whatever. Very average team. It's nice to have a Mercy when you're playing Pharah, so that you can be up in the sky playing Pharmacy, because we all love playing against Pharmacy. Really fun. Really fun getting rocks thrown at you from the sky. So we're just trying to do some damage to some people in the alleyway as we're coming over. We got someone on somebody, but I don't know who it was. Too far away. So we see McCree over here. Important to know that they have a McCree when we're playing Pharah. He's now going to get bullied to death by our team. So right now we are floating across open space, which is generally a faux pas. However, we've just seen the McCree get killed, so the risk is much lower. We don't want to land on the ground, though, because then we open ourselves up to being killed by some things. Like if a McCree, like a Reaper or Genji pops out and sees us on the ground, they're like, "Oh, look at that." Anyway, so here we see Genji. We try to bully around the Genji. He's now deflecting and is, right next to Winston's bubble. So we don't get to finish him off. Again, we're just like walking around on the ground, you know, it's kind of scary. Here we see Reaper. Reaper was low HP when that was happening, so we get to just kill him without even being able to see him. So, now we're going to try and bully around this Lucio. We're just going to try and Goomba stomp him. We kind of lose him in the shuffle, it looks like. He's disappearing over here into the cupboard to try and get some HP. We could have killed him if we stuck on him a little bit more aggressively, but I think we lost track of him in the shuffle, which is unfortunate. We don't really want to be shooting at Winston's bubble, because, like, that's not really our thing, you know. We'd rather be shooting at, like, the Lucio still, or the McCree, who just gets back over here now. They're a little bit more of our thing than shooting into Winston's barrier. So, we've lost 2 members of our team right now, and now we've lost another member of our team, so things are not exactly going well. We are trying to bully around the McCree right now, because McCree is our highest priority, because he's the one that's going to kill us. We are now, however, drifting out into open space again, which we don't want to be doing. We could just be hanging out right next to the lighthouse still, you know, using the... It's not a lighthouse, it's a windmill. We could be hanging out next to the tower of the windmill and, like, using that as cover. Instead, we're drifting out right over into open space over the well, which is making it which makes it easier for him. You know, we just, like, hang out over here and use this wall as cover. It makes it a lot harder. McCree's gotten a shot in at us. We've almost killed him. Oh, God, we're really low HP, though. Oh, we land. D.Va's right there. D.Va kills us. Feels bad, man. Might have been avoided if we just stuck closer to the tower and used that as cover, because we did make it easier for the McCree to shoot us by doing that. But we'll never know. So, we have most of Barrage built up right now. Barrage is not a very good ultimate, so we're not overly concerned about it, but their D.Va is dead right now, so if we can build it up quickly enough, now would be a pretty good time to use it. But we're not overly concerned about Barrage. Pharah is better than Barrage, honestly. So, right there, we just saw Reaper Wraith form into this closet over here. We are playing Pharah, we counter Reaper, we want to try and bully him around as much as possible. Instead, what we do is we shoot over here at this Winston who is currently asleep, and we wake him up. We don't want to wake up a sleeping person, usually, because first off, it's just fucking rude, right? Like, he's just trying to have a nap over here, and we just wake him up. But... like, we'd rather just be dealing with that, because that's more of our thing than Winston. It takes Pharah a long time to kill tanks. We'd rather be bullying around the Reaper, who is our job. If we're going to try and kill the Winston, we should just try and concussive blast him into the pit instead. Doesn't do any... concussive blast actually does 0 damage, so it doesn't even wake a sleeping person up. But we'd rather be bullying around the Reaper. So now we're trying to deal with the Reaper over here. Oh, just gets his toe on the edge and manages to cling on. Very action hero moment right there. So over here we see that 2 of our team have just died, which is not exactly a good omen. So we've spotted their McCree over here. We're trying to bully the McCree around right now. Again, we've landed, which we don't want to do because that puts us right next to Winston. So now we're trying to bully around this McCree. We've managed to bully around the McCree successfully. We could just take this health kit, seeing as we're right next to the large health kit. We don't want to be coming back out there with 120 HP, because that's the range where you can just suddenly get one shot and killed by things randomly. However, their team, there's a low chance of that happening, because they don't have very much, like, burst damage on their team, really. That being said, we do open ourselves up to the Genji right here, though, because Genji is better against Pharah than people think he is, because he can do, like, 75 basically guaranteed damage by dashing through you and meleeing you. And he's usually going to get a shot in as well with the shurikens. So we put ourselves right next to him at 120 HP. If this Genji is a little bit more with it, he just, like, right-clicks into us, dashes through us, and we die. Right there. So this is a very scary maneuver that we do right here at this low HP, because there's a chance this Genji does actually kill us. Genji lacks either the skill or the cooldowns to do that, though, so we managed to get away with it anyway. We are in open space right now, but their McCree is currently dead, so we don't have to worry about it, and we've managed to clean up their team. Great. We've also built up Barrage, but again, we're not overly concerned about that, especially since we don't have a Zarya to combo it with. So we are trying to bully their D.Va right now. God, excuse me, Jesus Christ. So, we don't manage to bully around their D.Va. We don't manage to get D.Va out of her mech, which is unfortunate, but, you know. So, right now, this is a very scary maneuver we're about to do, because we're about to put ourselves right next to, like, most of their team. Like, we're trying to bully the McCree, but, like, their whole team is reinforcing right now. So, we put ourselves right next to them. And we don't know if McCree's flashbang is up right now either. Like, if McCree, like, looks up, jumps, flashbangs, he probably reaches us. So that's very scary. And we're also drift really close to the ground. We drag Mercy in with us as well, but Mercy overshot us during that, so that's more of her thing. But, like, we put ourselves on the ground again, right next to a bunch of things that are really scary to be on the ground next to. And Mercy's almost dead. We're gonna get, like, shot by some stuff, and then McCree just lands a random headshot in on us and kills us. This is the theory on why Winston and D.Va are actually good against Pharah. And Genji as well, to a lesser extent. Winston and D.Va get to do, like, more or less guaranteed damage to Pharah, because D.Va, like, floats up and, like, punches you in the face, bumps you, shoots you, she's falling. She does, like, 75-100 damage with her face, so it's more or less guaranteed. Winston, similarly, jumps up in the air and Tesla cannons you quite a while. So they just do a bunch of, like, mostly guaranteed chip damage to you, but then that gets you low enough that somebody like McCree or Genji can just, like, finish you off, because now they only have to do half as much work, right? And that's more or less what happens right there. So that's why it's very scary to hang out, like, on the ground or, like, right next to their entire team in general. So we make it kind of easy to get picked off right there. And we kind of dragged Mercy in as well, but the Mercy, like, overshot us while we were in the air, so she put herself more next there, whatever. Anyway, so we've gotten rezzed right now. A couple of them are dead right now. We just decided that we're going to barrage over here. If anything, I would have probably barraged sooner. Actually, we don't barrage right here, do we? I'm getting ahead of myself. So instead, what we're actually doing is bully around the Lucio, and we bully around the Lucio. Oh, no, D.Va's using her ultimate over there. It doesn't actually clear the wall, so it wasn't actually going to kill us, but we tried to get out of the way anyway. Yep, fair enough, you know, we don't want to die. So here's Reaper. We want to try and kill Reaper, obviously. We don't bump him off right there, because this has not gone around the corner. We now decide to peek the corner into the Reaper. Don't do that. Do not peek the corner into the Reaper, because the Reaper is, like, 9 times out of 10 going to be like, maybe she'll follow me. And, like, I mean, if somebody's chasing Reaper, there's a good chance the Reaper's going to camp the corner around and then just try to shoot them as they come around. Pharah actually has a pretty big hitbox for a DPS hero. Do not peek this corner, because, like, that didn't knock him off. And there's a good chance of just getting, like, 1 or 2 shot just as you come around the corner. The reason Pharah counters Reaper is because we get to hang out in the sky and kill him from outside of his area. We don't want to, like, walk around confined spaces with a Reaper as a Pharah, because it's just too easy to get randomly killed, and it really shouldn't happen. So, anyway, now we're back up in here, we're back over on the pit again. McCree's using High Noon right here, that's very scary. We get a shot in on him, and then he gets hooked away to his death. Genji's also dead, so they're missing 2 out of the 3 DPS right now. Things are going well for us. We tried to boop them off, but the bubble's in the way and it blocks it. Here is where we decide to ult. Fair enough. Unfortunately, our Winston comes in and kind of makes it more awkward, bumping people around for us. I would have used Barrage there as well, so, you know, fair enough, whatever. Winston made it more awkward for us. Lucio is electing to waste Sound Barrier on absolutely nothing right now, so, you know, whatever. That's his decision, I guess. So, here comes Reaper. Reaper's Wraith formed away from us. We've just lost our Winston, which kind of sucks. Lucio's coming in very ahead of his team right now. We get to just, like, right out of the sky. Shot him out of the air. Great stuff. We just saw Genji dash past us, but over here, Reaper is using Death Blossom. This is a very poor use of Death Blossom, and then he just dies, and his body falls in the pit. Feels bad for Reaper, man. We are now just trying to bully their tanks to death, those being the only people still alive. Have to reload, makes it a little bit more awkward, but we've gotten them all. We get to win the round. Great, awesome. Not too terribly taxing. We've been playing pretty well so far. A little bit of drifting out in open space and a little bit of being over-aggressive, but pretty okay overall, you know. We're playing Pharah. So, now we're on Ruins. Good map to play Pharah on, because you can fight from either really far away, and there's also a lot of architecture to use as well. I should say, either fight from really far away, or use the architecture. English is a hard language, man. Whatever, fuck it. So, we're trying to do some damage over here, just as they come through the corridors. We don't get anything done right there. We do decide to, like, hang out on the ground for a while right here. Like, we're not really playing Pharah right now, because we'd rather be just, like, up in the sky, using the pillars as cover, and, like, shooting at these people over here. Like, hanging out firing on the ground like this, we're kind of just like playing a projectile McCree. We don't want to do that, we just want to play Pharah. Pharah's whole thing is we can be up in the sky and, like, bully around these people from really far away, and from an angle other people can't. We don't want to just be hanging out on the ground shooting at people like this. We're not really playing Pharah right now, you know? This is not playing Pharah. We're trying to get over here right now to bully the McCree. We are now up in the air. We're playing around the pillar, making it really hard for McCree. McCree is dead now. Great, awesome. We come over here, we see Lucio. We now want to kill Lucio, because he is, of course, the support. We're basically just trying to Goomba stomp him. There's nothing down here that can really threaten us very urgently, so that's fine. There's Genji. Genji's dead now. We got a shot in and killed him. So now it's just Winston over here. Winston's over here by himself, basically. Oh, no, I lied to you. Zenyatta's just gotten over here. We want to kill Zenyatta. Zenyatta's dead now. Now we're going to go back to bullying the tanks over here. D.Va's almost dead. D.Va's got her ultimate already, which is pretty incredible, but it looks like she's been bullying around Roadhog basically 100% of the time, so it's not that surprising. McCree's back now. We're trying to bully around the McCree. We're really low hate. We got shot right there. We don't really want to just expose ourselves again, because we might get one shot, so we pick up the health kit. Mercy, trying to run away from the enemy team. Didn't quite manage to get away. So we're a little bit indecisive right now about what we're trying to do. We don't, you know, like, we should really just be trying to bully around the, McCree. We could get a shot in at Lucio, because he, like, went right underneath us as we were doing that, so we could just try and get a shot in on the Lucio. But we are putting ourselves really close to the McCree, which is kind of scary, because we don't want to get flashbanged either. So, we don't want to be on the ground again. We could just be, like, up in the air. Like, basically, we could just be up in the air right now, like, hanging out around the pillar, and just, like, bullying this McCree to death around the pillar. Because, like, nobody else can really shoot us except for Zenyatta, who we haven't seen for a while now. We could just be up in the pillar, bullying him around the pillar, and it'd be really hard for him to hit us around the pillar. Instead, again, we're just, like, hanging out on the ground, which is, like, more awkward for us, and now, oh, we got caught on that. Really low HP, he's really low, we didn't quite finish him off. Again, we're just, like, hanging out on the ground, which is just making it more easy for him. Yeah, especially if he has, like, his flashbang, because then he could just, like, flashbang us and kill us. Just be, like, up in the air, hanging out around the top of the pillars, bullying him around. It makes it harder for him, makes it easier for us. Because it is generally easier to hit the ground than it is to shoot straight at somebody. Anyway, so, we're coming back now. We've almost got Barrage built up, but again, we're not too concerned about Barrage, because it's not a very good ultimate. So, Genji's currently dead. There's a lot of people over here. They're all sort of funneling into this area. We've got Barrage right now, they've just funneled into this very narrow area. What we could try and do right now is, like, Concussive Blast off the pillar, one of the pieces of ground we were just standing on, like, over here, or this one over here. We could just try and Concussive Blast over here quicker, and then just, like, Barrage into the alleyway, where it's really hard for them to actually get out of the way. McCree is probably over here, but he's almost certainly used his flashbang, because there's, like, a melee happening over here. So we could just, like, Concussive Blast over there, and then just ult right on top of them. And probably kill a lot of them, because we've also got Mercy pocketing us right now. Instead, we're sort of hanging really far back. Now we're going to come over here. They've kind of left the corridor already. Target prioritization, we just saw Zenyatta in this alleyway. We're choosing to shoot D.Va instead. D.Va's really hard for us to kill. Well, I mean, she's not hard for us to kill, but she's very time-consuming for us to kill. Zenyatta, right here. Over here, we should bully this man around instead, because he's in the corner right now. He's like a free kill. Doesn't look like we notice him. I think we're tunnel visioning on the Diva a little bit. We should be bullying this man around instead, because he is pretty high on our list of priorities. So, we end up taking some damage. We can Concussive Blast away. Zenyatta's now using Transcendence over here. McCree's using High Noon over there, so we're going to hang out around the pillar until that's done. It's done now. Now we're going to try and bully him around. Oh god, a lot of things are all around us though. Oh god, very scary. Oh god, get Zenyatta. Oh god, we got Zenyatta. Okay, Mercy's dead now though. Oh god, a lot of things right next to us we don't want to have right next to us. Oh god, it doesn't go very well and we end up getting killed. This is basically a kind of position that once you're in it, you're already fucked. So the next step is then to go back and think, how could we have just not been in this position that we got fucked in? So, this is all happening. We come around here so that we can hide from High Noon, fair enough. But then we start drifting towards their side of the map. Again, we want to bully around this guy, I get that. We want to kill him because he's like high on our list of priorities. Important thing, we still have Discord on us right now, so that's very scary, and we still have it on us right now. So, we don't want to be, like, drifting towards McCree right now. We're putting ourselves further away from our team. We're still on the ground, so people that, like, Winston and, Genji Zenyatta, Winston, Genji, Diva, will have an easier time hitting us because we're on the ground. We just take, like, a bunch of chip damage, and it adds up, because we've got Discord on us as well, so it gets more damage. And then, by the time this is happening, it's already over. Basically, we don't want to go that way. We don't want to go left. We'd rather just go right back over to our side of the map. And then we can bully them from over there, and then when we see an opportunity, we can jump on somebody and kill them, or just like Barrage when we see them all grouped up. Instead, we get closer to the danger while Discord is on us, and then the danger gets the best of us because they just surround us and kill us, and there's not really too much we can do about it by the time we're already in that position. Basically, it wasn't the time to go in, and we kept going in, is basically what happened. So, now, we're up in the air again. We are floating more or less in open space right now, which is very scary, but now we're coming over here to play around the statue a little more. We're trying to kill the McCree over here. We put ourselves into the danger zone again. Danger zone? Right here, because we land really close to the McCree, and then start walking to the McCree. Again, Discord is on us right now. We're making it easier for the McCree because we're hanging out on the ground really close to him. McCree could also just, like, roll up to us, flashbang us, and kill us right now. So, that's very scary as well. We put ourselves into a pretty risky position doing that. And now we've been, like, drifting over to their side of the map, the entire team. Nobody on their team is dead right now. So now we're just in this awkward position where there's really nowhere for us to go. Again, we're going in too aggressively. We're positioning very greedy. We're coming over here to try and bully the McCree by just, like, Goomba stomping him, it looks like. We should just be hanging back, like, playing around the pillars, like, shooting at them, poking at them, poking, prodding, and then as soon as we see somebody out of position, we dive on them, or we come over and, like, ult and kill their team. If you want to see, like, a really good Pharah player, there's a Pharah player called, Valkyr, and he's, like, Grandmaster, only plays Pharah, Pharah's his waifu, that kind of guy. He's really good at Pharah, and, like, what he basically does is he plays Pharah very similarly to how most people would play Genji, where he just sort of hangs out and, like, pokes and prods from a bunch of areas. So, like, poke from, like, say here, then you're like, come over here, poke from over there, come, like, down, poke from here, come, like, over here, poke from there. Just, like, pokes from a bunch of areas, like, really aggressively. As soon as he sees somebody out of position, he'll, like, dive on that person and kill him. And then, like, as soon as he sees the opportunity, just, like, concussive blasts over into position and just, like, ults and kills their team. We're, like, trying to basically force picks when there's, like, trying to force an opportunity where there isn't really one presenting itself yet. We should just be playing it more cool, like, poking and prodding at them and then, like, seizing opportunities when we see them. We're trying to force it right now rather than actually waiting for an opportunity to present itself. So, now, we want to try and deal with the Zenyatta and the McCree, because of course they're the scary things. We've been nano-boosted suddenly, so we really just want to use Barrage right now. So we're going to Concussive Blast over here, a little bit misaligned, we don't get super huge boost off of it. And now we're going to use it right here. This is not a great position to use it in, because Zenyatta can just duck out of the way. Basically, we don't want to push shift when we're doing this. Because we've been nano-boosted, Mercy comes over here with us, so the chances of us dying right now, basically nil. McCree has also used his flashbang over in this fight, almost certainly. Basically, we don't want to shift. Instead of doing that, it would be better to just, like, drift around the pillar one way or the other, and then ult from closer to ground level, because then we'd be able to see into this doorway, which is where people are probably going to go to try and get out of the way. Instead, we do it from up here, and now, by the time we get into this position, they're close enough that they can just duck out of the doorway instead. It's better to basically just concussive blast over here, get, like, around the pillar, and then ult. And then you'd be able to, like, see in this doorway. They wouldn't be able to get out of there. Their only options would be to try and run backwards through the alleyway, but by the time they could do that, they'd already be dead, because we're nano-boosted Pharah right now, we'd kill them really fast. This is awkward because we can't see into the doorway. Now, there's basically no risk of getting killed, because you've got Mercy pocketing you and you've been nano-boosted, so you don't need to be really far away in the sky. You could just ult much closer to them and, like, kill them, basically. So, right now, Genji's using his Dragon Blade. That's kind of scary. We just go straight up into the air. Mercy comes up with us. No risk anymore. We are now trying to kill these people. We've come very close to the ground again. We're putting ourselves, like, into Winston and D.Va's areas, which we don't really want to be. The idea is more just to, like, hang out in the sky, like, shift up and then just, like, feather the throttle so you can stay up in the air, like, basically forever. Like, it's really easy to do that since they buffed Pharah's booster a long time ago. So we don't quite get around the pillar enough and we die to D.Va's ult right there. Feels bad, happens. Pharah's fairly prone to, like, getting killed by D.Va because you can be out in an awkward position and then you're like, well, fuck, now what do I do? So, most of our team got killed back here. This feels pretty bad. They're at 90% right now, so we don't really have time to wait for a regroup. We managed to kill Genji and break D.Va's mech as we're coming in, so that's a good start. But then we come on to the point and we're like, well, fuck, this is a lot of things that we don't want to be right next to. But we have to touch the point because the round is about to be over. So, feels bad, man. And then this fight doesn't go very well. We lose the round. So that round, you know, we play, like, too overly aggressive in a few situations and it leads to us dying. You know, we're not letting the opportunities come to us. We're just trying to force it, and it's not really working out. Be a little bit more chill, you know. So, our team has changed a little bit now. We now have a Reaper, which is fair enough. They don't have anything that really counters Reaper that well. Except for, well, okay, D.Va counters Reaper. One day that won't be true, but today is not the day. So, now we're over here. We see their team coming out of over there. We're trying to poke at them. We're drifting around the rooftops, trying to poke at them from over here. We're putting ourselves in kind of an awkward position. It's awkward because we're at 100 HP right now. Mercy's going to come over here and start healing us, which kind of evens it out. But this would be a really awkward position to be in if Mercy didn't come with us, because then we'd be hanging out over here with 100 HP, which would be pretty scary. So, fight's breaking out down here. We've lost Reaper, which is not exactly a good start. We're going to come up here and try to get the Genji, since he's trying to run away right now. We get a shot in. Winston comes up. We finish him off with Winston. Great. We see Zenyatta going into the doorway over here. We could go harder on this Zenyatta, because Zenyatta's not full HP right now. We're a little bit scared of being damaged from over by the point. We sort of, like, go half and half on it. We could just, like, go in the doorway and bully the Zenyatta to death, because Zenyatta's pretty easy to kill, you know. So we're getting shot at by D.Va. We didn't know where D.Va was, push shift, and accidentally ended up nearer to her, because she's up on the roof. So we come over here, pick up the health kit, but D.Va's still on us, and now we're in that awkward position where we're just drifting further and further away from the map, like, please, no, please stop. Anna's spotted us, as has Mercy, and they come over to help us, so they sort of bail us out of that one. We ended up in a pretty awkward position. And now we can start bullying them around again. We are just going to ult right here, fair enough. Genji tries to bounce it back at us, but he doesn't bounce enough of it back. They die. McCree kills us, but then we get rezzed. Great, awesome. McCree's using High Noon over here. This is not a very good use of company resources from either of these members of their team. And that's two of their ultimates just down the drain. Great, awesome, good stuff. Good for us. So we've gotten control of the point now. That's good, obviously. We like having control of the point. This is, again, still a good map to play Pharah on because we can be far away and there's geometry for us to work with. So, we want to try and kill that Zenyatta. Zenyatta got a shot in on us. We've got Discord on us right now, so we want that off before we do anything else. Now we're coming over here. Winston was trying to get some stuff done. He did not get very much done. And ended up having to run away. We've lost our Roadhog over here because Winston just pushed him off the edge. So that sucks. He's also about to push Anna off the edge. We've been nano boosted again. But we don't have our ultimate this time. And half of our team is dead right now. We go back into here. Don't go back in here. Like, this is not gonna work out. Like, this is just not gonna work. There's like a bunch of things over here that are difficult for us to kill. We have to go into the awkward position inside the lighthouse where we're not good at fighting because it's a confined location. We're down a bunch of people. It's just not gonna work. Just back out instead of going back in. Because now our death has been really staggered. So now, right as we're getting back, we're respawning right as everybody else is getting back to the front line. That's really sad, you know, and like, both of our tanks have also just died as well, so now their deaths are staggered. Oh god, and this is just how you end up wasting a bunch of time. So, we land right next to the diva right here. We don't want to do that, especially not after just using our shift, because we shift up, so, okay, fair enough. We're trying to bully around the diva and get Mercy out of the situation. But then we land right next to Diva. We are now inside the zone Diva wants to be in, because now Diva's like, oh great, now I can shoot you, great. And we just used our shift, so we can't, like, use that to get away from Diva anymore. So this is a very risky maneuver. We'd rather just be in the air, like, bullying Diva around from outside of her range. We want to stay outside of their range as much as possible. This is why we want to be in the air as much as possible, because when you land on the ground, that's just like giving people who don't usually have the opportunity to kill you or do damage to you, the opportunity to kill you or do damage to you. We want to be in the air as much as possible, bullying people around. So, McCree's using High Noon over there. He uses it to kill Winston. We see Zenyatta right there. We should be trying to bully around the Zenyatta more than anything else right now, because we see him, like, in the middle of the courtyard, and then we suddenly switch over to Lucio. Zenyatta's still, like, right below us. We should be killing him instead, because he's a higher priority target, because he's easier to kill, and he makes our life more difficult, basically. Now we've put ourselves into the awkward position where we're fighting inside the lighthouse right now. This is really not much of a lighthouse now that I think about it. Whatever. Like, we're not playing Pharah right now because we put ourselves into this confined location. We can't take advantage of our mobility anymore. We'd rather just be hanging around outside of the lighthouse, firing in through the doorways. And then as soon as we see an opportunity, we can, like, come in and, like, ult through one of the doorways. But we don't want to be fighting inside the building, because now we can't take advantage of what Pharah is good at, which is her verticality. There's no space in here. We don't want to fight inside buildings, really, unless we absolutely have to. We don't really have to right now. So we decide we're going to ult right here. We managed to kill 2 of them before Zenyatta finishes us off. We killed their Lucio and their Winston, which is 2 very bad heroes for them to lose, especially when the fight is already not going well for them. So we get to have control of the point now. So, great. Awesome. So we're getting back now. Somebody's over here on the point. Who is it? There's Genji right there. We're trying to bully the Genji right now. Again, we're going into the building. Don't really want to do that. Rather be outside, but we didn't go in. Oh, no, now we're going to go inside again. You know, we'd rather just be up in the air, like, bullying people around a little bit more. So we're shooting over at these people over here. There's a McCree over there somewhere, so we want to try and kill him if at all possible, seeing as he is the scary thing. And we're just, like, hanging out on the ground a lot. We want to be up in the air, bullying people. We've got geometry to use here. We can use the bell tower. We can be using the buildings over here. We can hang out on the rooftop over here. Just walking around on the ground. That's boring. We don't want to be down here. We want to be up in the sky, shooting at people. So we're shooting in over there at the Diva. Diva's not really very high on our list of priorities, so we'd rather try and find somebody else to shoot at if possible. Here comes Winston. We're going to come into Winston's bubble and try to shoot him. He is over here by himself, so I can kind of understand the maneuver a little bit more, but we'd still rather just be outside shooting at, like, their supports of the McCree. It's hard for Pharah to kill tanks, because she takes a while to actually kill them. We'd rather be bullying around the squishier members of their team. So we just lost 2 people over here in the kill feed, as we see, which is not exactly a good start. And now we're fighting inside the building again. Again, this is not really where we want to be, and we're, like, trying to shoot out the doorway at them. We'd rather just be outside in the sky shooting at people, and it's much easier than fighting inside the building. And we're, like, inside Winston Diva's zone, who we want to try and avoid being in their zones as much as possible. We're not really playing Pharah in this round, you know, we're trying to play, like, one of those boring ground-based heroes. We don't want to be doing that. But we've lost the point. We're gonna lose this round, and now we're gonna switch with the other guy's playing Tracer. We're gonna switch with him. He's gonna play Pharah, and we're gonna play Tracer. And you have a very good Tracer skin. Excellent taste. I like this skin a lot. I like how they are spray cans, but they are also still guns. What a ne'er-do-well Tracer is for being an Overwatch member, honestly. Also, they are Winston brand spray cans. So, there's that. So, we're coming around this side. We see Winston. Winston's not super scary, but we also see McCree, and he gets a shot in at us, so we want to heal up before we go off doing anything else. We find Zenyatta over here. He's all by his lonesome, and we're going to bully him to death with the help of D.Va. They've also lost their Lucio, so they've lost both their supports right at the start of this fight. Things are not looking well for them right now. So we're coming over here right now. We've just gotten shot in the back by McCree. We're at 80 HP. Just recall at this point, really. Because now we're, once you're below 100 HP, when you're taking, 20, 30 damage as Tracer, you're in the area where you can be one-shot by random things, and you don't want to be in that area where you can be one-shot by random things, because Overwatch is a very fast game. It's hard to keep track of everything that's going on in general, but when you're playing a mechanically taxing hero like Tracer, it's even harder to keep track of these things. So risk of getting one-shot, very high risk of getting one-shot. We'd rather not have that happen if possible. When in doubt, recall out. Right now, I'd be in doubt. We should recall out. Instead, we stay around here trying to bully the Winston, and then McCree gets a shot in before we realize he's coming, and he finishes us off. Again, we don't want to just be hanging around damaged when we're playing Tracer, because Tracer's a very soft hero. We don't want to be going around with even less HP, because the risk of getting one shot is quite high. So, anyway, fight was still going well. We didn't lose the fight still, anyway. All is well. We've gotten back over here now. We're coming over here to try and bully around the Lucio. Lucio is very hard to bully around as Tracer, but we're doing our best right now. Didn't really work out. Now we're coming back around here again. Here we see Lucio. And, no, not quite. Yep, here we see they have an Orisa now, which is fantastic news. Orisa, weak to dive in general, got a huge head hitbox. So you can just, walk up to the Orisa and farm ult charge off of her all day, and there's not much you can do about it. So what we do right here is we try to bully around the Lucio. This is not really our area. It's hard to kill Lucio as Tracer unless you've got really good tracking. What I would recommend doing instead, we are 15% of the way from having Pulse Bomb. And Orisa's over here by herself right now. McCree just died, so there's very little risk of us getting killed by anything, really. I would go up to that Orisa, just drill her for a second. You're gonna get your ultimate, slap it on Orisa, she's gonna die. And then we'll have picked off her tank, because Orisa's a very soft tank as well. We'd pick off the Orisa. Instead, we try and pick off the Lucio. Not really what we're good at, just leave that to Winston and D.Va. Just go and try and kill the Orisa instead. So, now we're coming back around here. Here we see Orisa and Lucio right next to each other. We've almost got our ultimate built up. We've built up our ultimate right now. We're low HP, we waited to get healed up, and now we're going back in again. We're just going to slap the ultimate on D.Va's mech right here. We don't quite kill anybody, but we do break D.Va's mech, so that's good. Lucio is dropping the beat. This is a very poor use of sound barrier, but he's deciding to use it anyway. Whatever. This isn't gonna matter in this circumstance, but what we see right here is we see these people chasing somebody through the doorway. It's Baby D.Va, so they're gonna kill Baby D.Va. If you see somebody getting chased off like this, you could just, cut off their escape route by going around the backside, and if they escape out the backside, you can just finish them off. This person isn't gonna get away because it's Baby D.Va being run down by these things. But, sometimes cutting off somebody's escape route is gonna matter, so, don't be afraid to just, hang around that side and, finish her off if she gets away. Because there's not really much for us to do over here anyway. We might as well just, try and make sure she can't get away. It's not gonna matter in this circumstance, though, because she isn't going to get away. It's Baby D.Va getting run down by these tanks. So, things are going well. Oh, fuck, here's McCree. McCree is flashbanged us. He doesn't kill us. We get to recall. McCree, now very not scary to us, and we're just gonna try and bully him to death. Bully. We got him. Great. Awesome. Sad day to be McCree. So we don't really want to do what we're doing right now. Because right now, we're basically just trying to shoot at them from, like, the front line. We're, like, trying to play, like, soldier or something right now, where we're just, like, hanging out with our team, like, shooting into their front line. What we should be doing instead is just, like, going around the right side, going around the left side, like, poking at the Orisa from the doorway, poking at, like, from the Diva or somebody from up here. You know, dividing their attention, trying to pick somebody off if they're low HP, just generally farming our ultimate off their tanks. We don't want to be fighting on the front line, we want to be flanking around the front line instead. We don't want to just hang out around here. This is not really a great use of, resources as Tracer. So Diva's throwing her ult over there right now. She manages to kill our Winston. We've spotted, Zenyatta. We're gonna come over here and try and kill Zenyatta. Zenyatta is now fucking gone. So, we're coming over here now, though. We've managed to get a bunch of ult charge, and we got even more off the Orisa right there. She's used her bongo. We recall, because we're low HP. We got down to, like, 15 HP. Very scary. Just slap the pulse bomb on her back. We don't kill her, but we do kill Lucio and Genji. So, that's great. Awesome. Here's, McCree. We don't really want to deal with that, especially while Discord's on us, so we hop away. McCree's doing that right now. That's very scary. We just dash behind him. We don't die. Now we're just gonna try and bully all these people to death. We killed him. Now we're gonna bully Orisa to death. Oh, we jumped in the well, but we've got recall, so no harm, no foul. And now we're just gonna bully Orisa to death. Like, we're gonna kill her. She's just gonna prolong it by like, dancing around her barrier. Yeah, we're gonna get her. It's just Lucio now. We're gonna try and bully him to death. You know, it's hard to kill Lucio as Tracer, but there's really not much else for us to be doing right now. Kind of low HP. Come over here, get healed up by our Lucio. Oh god, there goes Genji with his Dragon Blade. He's doing it like 2v6 right now. It's not going to work out for him. This is a very poor use of company resources, and now he's dead. So, there's McCree. McCree's scary. We've got to be careful of that. Here's Soldier. Soldier's not very good against Tracer, but he's also not bad against Tracer. We do have to worry about getting one shot by Helix Rocket, because it does 120 damage if it hits us. So we've got to be conscious of that. We just saw it whiz past us, so now we don't have to be afraid right now. We are still low HP right now. We're walking around in that danger zone that we don't want to be in. There's a health kit out there. Just, like, dash out the doorway behind you, pick up the health kit, and then come back and start fighting again. This is going to take you, like, a second to do, and it just, like, significantly lowers the risk of you being randomly one-shot, which we want to avoid happening, obviously. So, we've managed to kill their McCree right there. We're gonna come over here now and try to bully around their Soldier. This ends up being a very prolonged and awkward fight that we have over here with him. We're like low HP right now, it's kind of scary. He puts down the Biotic Field right here. As soon as you see him put the Biotic Field down, unless you're gonna commit to using the Pulse Bomb on him, you might as well just leave, because it's really hard to kill Soldier through Biotic Field. Unless it's all headshots, it's just not gonna happen. So anyway, no, we're still bullying him around. Oh, a little scary. Saw the, Diva ult going off out here. We've got Pulse Bomb built up right now. We just slap it right on Roadhog. He gets McCree killed. Roadhog is like, we haven't killed Roadhog with it, but we have basically killed Roadhog with it. Because we forced him to start taking a breather in a position he didn't want to, and now he gets killed by our team. So even though we didn't kill Roadhog, we killed Roadhog. So good job, us. Now we just have to clean up the rest of the fight. You know, there's a lot of people around here that are awkward for us to kill. But they're all pretty low HP right now. Diva blocked a bunch of bullets right there. Feels bad, man. He's hanging out in the well. We want to try and finish him off. He comes out into Winston. We decide we're going to try and kill Genji because he's low HP. It's awkward for us to get him, but he's so low. Oh, God, you know. These people are hard for us to kill. But they all left the point. Now we're just going to come over here and bully Roadhog just for the sake of it. Great, awesome. We won the round. Everything's going well. In general, we're playing Tracer pretty well. Like, pretty good at Tracer. Bearing, like, you know, some slight target prioritization and, like, not paying close enough attention to your HP. Playing pretty good as Tracer. So this is, we're on Ruins again now. A little bit of an awkward map for Tracer, but there is a lot of geometry to juke and jive out of, so it's also not terrible. So here we see Genji. Genji is not really who we want to end up getting in a fight with, but here's Soldier. Soldier we're more interested in trying to kill. So, Soldier right now is about to commit a great faux pas. He stands perfectly still right next to the pillar, and we just kill him. Oh, God. So, now we come over here, we see McCree. McCree doesn't know what's happening right now. We're on top of Genji's head right now. McCree's dead. Don't have to worry about him anymore. Very awkward. We were, in fact, on Genji's head. And he didn't even know, didn't suspect a thing. So we're low HP right now, but it's just Winston and Lucio over here, and we're being healed by Mercy, so there's no risk of these people killing us, basically, especially not with Recall also up. So we can just be over here and bully these people to death. Our team's here helping us bully them to death. Here's Lucio. Soldier's over there right now. We're going to come over and try to kill Soldier. No, we're not. We're actually going to come over here and try to bully McCree. McCree's got no clue. He doesn't know what's happening to him. We're just riding around on his shoulders like, sucker. Didn't even know it was happening. We're coming over here. This is pretty aggressive, but again, they don't have anything that can punish us super hard for it, so we get away with it. We recall out, probably unnecessary, but what, you know, when in doubt, recall out and all that, so it's fine. We just, like, lob our pulse bomb from really far away. We do end up killing people with it. You generally don't want to do the, like, slow lob, because there's a pretty high chance of people just getting away from it. It's better just, like, slide up to them and slap it on their back. The slow lob can end up just, like, doing nothing, but we got him in the end anyway, doesn't matter. Genji's here, he's awkward for us to kill. Genji's dead now, Winston dealt with that. Now we get to bully D.Va a little bit more. We could have just, like, blinked through the D.Va, honestly, and started trying to shoot her in the back. McCree is over here. We're going to try and deal with that now. We don't know what his flashbang's like right now, so we're a little bit hesitant to go in. Sound barrier on us right now. No need to be afraid anymore. We go in and we just kill him before he knows what the fuck. So we're low HP right now. Recall back up to full HP. Now we're on the other side of them again. Oh, D.Va's using her ultimate over there right now, so we're going to get out of the way. She did kill Mercy, which is unfortunate, but whatever, you know, things are still going pretty well. Lucio's dropped the beat, that's unfortunate. Now we're gonna come over here and try to, like, contest the point and just kill these people. Far's gonna help us out. Oh, Winston's very upset about it, Jesus Christ. There's no way he kills us, basically, in this position, so this was fine. Blink jumps right into, D.Va's ult and dies. Oh, look, here's McCree over here. Uses his flashbang right there. No need to be afraid anymore. We go in on him and kill him. Your blink just came up, like, blink onto this health kit, you know, just in case. Like, you know, just in case. So, right here we see Mercy. We don't seem to notice the Mercy. We could have actually just, like, slapped our ult on Mercy's foot right there. And killed her and maybe Lucio. Doesn't matter, though. We're just now gonna bully the Mercy to death instead, which is perfectly fine. Because it's just like her and Lucio over here. No, you know, it's not really a great choice by them. So we just slap our pulse bomb right on Winston, almost recalled back into it and died, which would have been very embarrassing, but it didn't happen. We could have slapped Lucio a little bit sooner right there and gotten the kill, but whatever, we're going to kill him in the end. Here's Reaper. That's fantastic news. Reaper is really bad at fighting Tracer. Unless he gets really, really lucky, so that's good. We can bully him around as well. We only need to get like 3% more, so they're nowhere near the point right now. We're going to win the round. Great. Awesome. 2 rounds we played as Tracer went really well, honestly. We bullied them around pretty severely. Pretty good game overall, except for like the 2 rounds where we weren't really like playing Pharah. 2 rounds as Tracer though, actually really good Tracer play. Bearing like the 1 or 2 things we talked about. So here's Winston, currently walking around waiting for the other half of his play of the game to actually appear. High skill play right there. Okay, so, not too much really stands out as Tracer. We played Tracer pretty well, I thought, bearing, like, the slight not tracking HP close enough, and then, like, target prioritization slightly towards the end of the first round, but we played Tracer really well, overall. Pharah, like, we just trying to force it too much. We're being too aggressive, positioning too greedily, going into buildings that we don't want to. Basically, I'm just going to broadly say positioning. We're putting ourselves in positions we don't want to be. We're not really leveraging what's good about Pharah. It's that you get to be up in the air, shooting down at these people from really far away, doing a lot of damage, really hard to kill you. We keep going, like, hanging around on the ground, not like, in buildings, just sort of drifting closer to them instead of trying to force opportunities. Rather than, Jesus Christ, excuse me, Jesus, I'm disgusting. Rather than waiting for an opportunity to, like, present itself, we're just trying to force it, and it doesn't work out too well. Overall, I thought this was a really pretty good game overall. Especially the Tracer rounds. The 2 Tracer rounds were actually really good Tracer play, I thought. So, anyway, thank you very much for watching if you did. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer, and I hope you found the video helpful.